Hello and welcome to Founders Treasure, the podcast where I share unique and inspiring stories that empower you to build your business. Today's guest is Janki Chauhan, the founder of Orange Elaichi, a plant forward bakehouse inspired by South Asian flavors. Before starting Orange Elaichi, Janki spent several years working in tech industry, building analytical and problem solving skills that she now brings to her business. After a successful career in tech, she decided to pursue her passion for baking and entrepreneurship. Through Orange Elaichi, she creates modern, plant based dessert inspired by flavors like cardamom, saffron, rose, mango, and pistachio, blending culture, creativity, and storytelling in every bake. So, if you want to level up your business skills, you are at the right place. Janki, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thank you. And I'm very excited to share my story here.
It's so good to have you here, and I'm looking forward to our conversation today.
Same. Like I needed a platform to share my story, and this is yeah, very excited.
That's great. So let's start from the beginning and get to know you a little better. Tell
Sure.
me, yeah, tell me about your childhood. What were your hobbies and interests growing up?
Yeah, so I grew up in India, specifically Gujarat,
Mhm.
and it was a very typical Indian family, like working dad, stay home mom who took care of everything
Mhm.
related to house and outside as well. And growing up as a hobby, as I was doing all different kind of things, but
Mhm.
the couple of things that comes to my mind is I used to love to draw, and that there's some artistic skills which has carried over.
Mhm.
And as most of the kids in India, I was obsessed with cricket. I am still sort of obsessed, but
Okay.
not to the level how I was as a kid. But yeah, this was pretty much that cricket, drawing, and then focus on your studies. That
Oh,
was my life in India. Yeah.
great, great. You were interested in art and cricket. I've heard from few girls that they were interested in cricket, but good to know that you loved it as a child.
Yeah, and I'm very happy that it is coming naturally to my son as well. So yeah, that's good.
Okay, okay. Let's talk about your education and career. So before Orange Elaichi, you have spent several years in technology industry. Can you
Yes.
tell us a little bit about your educational background and your career journey?
Yeah. So I did my master's in information, bachelor's in information technology back in India, and then I came to US to do my master's. And if you ask who people here, they will have a very similar path,
Mm-hmm.
but you have your you come to US to do your further studies and
Mm-hmm.
get a job and have a nice living out of it. And that was what I had in mind. But in and engineering to me was always a path to for a success rather than
Mm-hmm.
a passion path. And during that time, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and so I went through it. I did my master's. I got a job, and then over
Mm-hmm.
several years, I worked on different stacks uh, of the tech industry,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually towards the end, I was focused on data analysis and data engineering. And during that time,
Mm-hmm.
I also had my son, who is now 8,
Mm-hmm.
and that between that and then the work overall, how the industry has been evolving
Mm-hmm.
since then, it I was pushed to find my passion, that which gave me more joy and
Mm-hmm.
contentment rather than just working 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where Orange Lychee came. I mean, the idea of Orange Lychee came, and I also found out that I got more joy in culinary world rather than in the tech.
Okay.
So I decided to make it the change.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Uh, well, I would say you took a different path in between your tech career and switched to culinary. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes.
So tell me, what were some of the biggest lessons you learned while working in tech industry?
Oh yeah, I mean, as fresh out of college, right?
Uh-huh.
You are, I there were a lot of lessons got that
Mm-hmm.
ingrained with I get to use today also, and not in though it's a different industry, but they apply
Mm-hmm.
everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the thing I learned was to have having a good mentor or manager
Mm-hmm.
takes you it takes you way further and helps you in a long term
Mm-hmm.
rather than just you might skip on it or you might like no I got it, I figured it out and all that thing. But if you the having a good mentor,
Mm-hmm.
it from start it helps a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, yeah, so I learned about breaking task management and dividing things in different smaller operations,
Mm-hmm.
and which I do it today also.
Okay.
And I also learned something about myself that I am a planner, and today also I carry this small book with me everywhere. I need to write it down. I have things broken down to an hour, and I know
Mm-hmm.
if I follow this end of the week I will be happy that no I got things done.
Mm-hmm.
So those have been I learned through my tech experience and has still stayed with me that yeah, you need all those people, all the support, all the planning, and you'll get there.
Well, those are really good lessons. Having a good mentor can take you, leaps forward. I would say instead of struggling at one place, mentors give you a big push and show you a direction when you are lost. So that's one of the biggest lesson I think you mentioned. And the second one is planning and time management.
Yeah.
So those are great learnings for even if you are doing a job or especially if you are doing a business. So
Yeah.
so I would say, you took those ingredients or the methods you learned from your tech industry and now you're applying to those to your business.
Yes,
Wow.
yes, and yeah, and today also, like I have those mentors who I had in tech. Also, they I keep in touch with them as well as I have the new ones as well,
Mm-hmm.
and it will be surprising to you, but they all have a very similar thought process for
Mm-hmm.
you, and to try and have those motivational ideas for you,
Mm-hmm.
which is like yeah you need those because everyone has gone through that sharing their experience.
Mm-hmm.
And now as a parent you also realize that oh yeah I don't need to look for a mentor for my kid, I'm there
Yeah.
for them. So yeah.
Yeah, you grow to become a mentor. First you are being mentored and then you have mentees to mentor.
Yes.
That's great. So we touched upon you touched upon Orange Elaichi, but what was the inspiration of starting Orange Elaichi?
And so it so overall the whole switching and making going into culinary world
Mm-hmm.
all came from a very personal journey for me. I found baking to be very grounding when I was lost. I was confused. I wasn't sure what I will do next day. That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that has always been the root of Orange Elaichi. And before Orange Elaichi was born, it I had this blog which was called Cup Spoon and Spatula, and that is what it was the first step towards the culinary
Mm-hmm.
world. Like I used to run the blog, I used to record videos,
Mm-hmm.
post recipes, and eventually, and then when you enter the culinary world, you're like, oh, that is one broad world. You need to figure out what one area to focus on,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where I noticed that there is a gap in the market where you get this egg free and vegan baked items which don't compromise in flavors and
Mm-hmm.
texture,
Mm-hmm.
because people always, when you tell someone, today also it happens that
Mm-hmm.
I don't tell people that it's vegan or
Mm-hmm.
it's egg free.
Mm-hmm.
I let them try it. And then, because you always has that bias that, oh, it's vegan, I don't know how it will be.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I want to remove that bias, but also have that option for people that, if you have the dietary restrictions or for whatever reason you're not
Mm-hmm.
having those ingredients, but you still are not compromising on flavor
Mm-hmm.
and all. So that is where the business idea came.
Okay.
And then I did start the business as a cup spoon and spatula. I was at the market under that name,
Mm-hmm.
but as months pass, I realized that people have a hard time remembering that long name because it was not originally for this kind of
Yeah.
business.
Mm-hmm.
And um and then I also needed a name which identifies the brand. When you
Mm-hmm.
say the name, it clicks that
Yeah.
you know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the orange
Okay.
elaichi came from, like
Okay.
very naturally. Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Yeah, that's a great name, Orange Elaichi. It brings a picture into my head. Orange and elaichi, which is cardamom, green, yellow, natural flavors. That
yeah.
pops into my head when I hear those words.
Correct, correct. And then that also defines the two roots for me, like
Mm-hmm.
orange as California, bright sunshine,
Mm-hmm.
and the place where it gave me the opportunity to
Mm-hmm.
do this.
Mm-hmm.
And then Elaichi being the root from India, like such
Oh.
a base for Indian cooking.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it's two roots combined in one.
Oh, wow, that's a, blend of things. And I really agree with you. In California, we get to see lot of sunshine,
Yes.
brighter days, and they bring lot of joy and cheer. And yes, being Indian, it gives you another dimension.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Correct.
So that's great that you are blending things and bringing it to a new market. Great, great. Uh, So, Janki, for someone who has never heard about orange elaichi, how would you describe it to them?
Okay, okay, yeah. So Orange Elaichi is a plant forward bakehouse. We here create baked items which encompass the flavors which I grew up with, more South Asian flavors.
Mm-hmm.
You think rose, you think cardamom, you think saffron, you think pistachio, you think chai, and you
Mm-hmm.
will find all this in our products. All our products are egg free, and most of I try to make them plant forward using non dairy items.
Okay.
Our best sellers are our bun cakes
Okay.
and our truffles,
Mm-hmm.
which are mango lassi, rose pistachio, orange saffron, and then our truffles are orange and pistachio. You will see this word orange coming a lot in my products, and hence the name.
Okay.
And I have we use premium ingredients. Everything is organic,
Mm-hmm.
and I personally believe that it serves a lot many occasions and celebrations than just as a it could be have you can have it daily versus you can also have it as a celebratory things,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the idea here, that
Okay.
it's a your go-to bakehouse.
Okay. Okay. So you mentioned about plant forward, which means you're not using any dairy and they're all plant based like
Yes.
ingredients. Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes, and
Mm-hmm.
that is what one of the thing I had. I was trying to figure out, and I did uh, uh, pastry course at the Culinary Institute of America
Mm-hmm.
in between when I was switching,
Mm-hmm.
and that one of our instructor there, he mentioned that we as a culinary world we also have to evolve with what's coming up, what's
Yeah.
happening, because as the world progresses, and then we are also finding out different allergens which are not known before,
Mm-hmm.
and people are getting more conscious about what they're
Yes.
having and how and what form they are having.
Yeah.
So we cannot be stuck that, oh, you. You don't want to have a macaron, then don't have a macaron.
Mm-hmm.
But is
Mm-hmm.
it possible that can we create something different, which
Mm-hmm.
will it, don't call it as a vegan macaron, but it's a plant-based
Mm-hmm.
macaron, that
Mm-hmm.
kind of a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me one thing. So usually the desserts we get in bakeries or, other retail shops, they use ingredients that are like they use dairy products and mixed of dairy and plant-based products. So the unique thing about orange elaichi is that you are totally plant-based, no dairy, and with the blend of, flavors, like saffron, cardamom, things like that. Is that what it is?
I will say not completely plant-based. I have products which I use dairy in it. Right now I have two, which
Okay.
is has dairy in it, and I have not figured out a right way
Uh-huh.
to use plant-based ingredients instead of dairy, and
Okay.
that's the only reason why they have dairy in it.
Okay.
But each product, and try to keep it when I introduce. Also, I always offer
Mm-hmm.
a vegan option
Mm-hmm.
always that is there. Like
Mm-hmm.
there are certain things which are hard to make in that way, and that's the compromise I have to do.
Mm-hmm.
But if it is possible, I do go with the plant-based ingredients. So right now it's not completely. I'll say it's
Mm-hmm.
completely egg-free, and then wherever 90% is
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
vegan.
Okay. This talking is making me hungry. Uh, so tell me, where can we get all the orange elaichi goodies, treats?
Yeah, you will find us at farmers market in the Cupertino. That's on Sunday. It's at Dianza College,
Mm-hmm.
and San Mateo. That's on Saturdays. They
Mm-hmm.
both are year-round farmers market, and we plan to be there almost throughout the year. Might take a break, and we have an online shop.
Mm-hmm.
It's a basic operational online shop.
Mm-hmm.
So I also encourage my customers that if they have any questions, they want to make some changes. There are certain the pickup times are also there
Mm-hmm.
where you can pick it up from different locations. But I always encourage my customers that don't let that, if it doesn't work out, just message on there or
Mm-hmm.
DM on Instagram. I'm always within in 24 hours you will hear back from us, and then we can work things out.
Mm-hmm.
So there are different ways to, but if you are in the area, I would personally ask my customers to come at least once in one of those physical location and see things by themselves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's great. That's great. So you are reachable through farmers market and online store. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Okay, Janki, let's switch gears here
Sure.
and let's talk about challenges and growth. So,
Yes.
starting a business always comes with some challenges. So, what were some of the biggest challenges you faced when you started?
Oh my God, there's so many of them.
Mm-hmm.
I can like talk about it like all day, but I'll pick a couple of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the biggest one, and it's still I'm learning, is to learn this new entire world of running a business coming from neither me nor my parents or none of my in my family, they come from a business background. They all
Mm-hmm.
work 9 to 5, and there is no innate business expertise that
Mm-hmm.
comes naturally to
Mm-hmm.
me. So learning the ways and means of running a business, and especially when you enter culinary world, there is food permits, there is health violation codes, there
Mm-hmm.
is, as you scale, you have to work with the cottage food industry, your health department to
Mm-hmm.
get those permits. Then scaling, then you find different commercial kitchens. And so, what are those options? Right now,
Mm-hmm.
we have cloud kitchens also. So, like finding about those options, learning, then weighing the costs of
Mm-hmm.
operating under them, working with the again health department to get your permits, keeping
Mm-hmm.
up with the permits, and what are the different kind of permits and
Okay.
where you are operating. Getting to know all of those, it's a process, and
Mm-hmm.
it might hold someone back that
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do this. It's like too much work. But that's I think those are. I mean, if any business,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just with culinary or cooking related thing. Any business, I think that there will be this initial
Mm-hmm.
hiccups you might come across, but it's just going through that. Then another one was coming up with pricing, because
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to compromise on ingredients, but when you are selling at farmers market, you also want to have a certain price range, because people there are not looking for a premium dessert.
Mm-hmm.
They if they want, they will go to the certain shops they
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
So coming up with a product of those which will have that balance,
Mm-hmm.
as well as coming up the right price, and
Mm-hmm.
where you are also like I'm not losing money,
Yeah.
not charging premium or
Mm-hmm.
that kind of price where people are like, oh, it's good, but I don't want to spend that much,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that was another. And then as a baker, it's physically tiring.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, your body, you will realize that there are certain muscles you have not used in years, and then suddenly they're like, oh, what's happening here?
Okay.
Like when
Okay.
you're on your feet for like 8 hours of a day, and then suddenly like, oh, I didn't realize this part of my body will ache at some point of my life. So those are the challenges. It's there, and I go through them and work through them, and then get help. I think that's something I have realized that over this period. Just get, if someone is offering, just take the help.
Yeah.
It's okay. You are doing it, but help someone, if there's someone is there to help you, just take the help and
Mm-hmm.
just keep going. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you're making some of your body muscles stronger by being a baker, some different
Oh,
muscles.
yes, yes. I have upper body strength. I don't think I had in all this 35 years of my life.
Okay. Okay. So many people have a passion, but they hesitate to turn into a business. So
Right.
what fears did you have when you were getting started?
My biggest fear was to like, what if no one likes it, what no one buys it, and I'm putting so much energy and on it. So that still has, when I introduce a new product, that still has that fear does creep up.
Mm-hmm.
But uh, you have to little bit trust yourself on uh, that you have this idea, so you do have to, you are not going in like head first, like with overconfidence, but you also don't want to be yourself, like
Mm-hmm.
make yourself feel that no, this is not gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
So it you do have to balance that out and start small,
Mm-hmm.
and then grow as things progresses. I started as like
Mm-hmm.
small boxes for my friends and families,
Mm-hmm.
and then as outside people who will always tell you that, oh, your stuff is so good. If
Uh-huh.
there are people who don't know you and still like
Yeah.
it, then
Yeah.
you say, okay, okay, yeah, yeah. And then at one point you have to take that step of uh, presenting it to this
Mm-hmm.
whole new world where no, it's just people discovering those flavors.
Mm-hmm.
And here, especially this area where it's such a diverse in different cultures,
Mm-hmm.
and people coming from all over the world. They have a, you will find that market. You just have to figure out how to reach that
Mm-hmm.
market.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you like when you create a new product, new treat, you test it with your friends and family and nearby people, and
Yes.
you try to validate that idea. And if you are getting enough or good validation, you move forward with that.
Correct, correct. Yeah, and it's and the thing is, it's you have to have this as you progress in your business, you also
Mm-hmm.
have to have this different diverse testing group also, because I it happened with me that for me most of the time is my husband, my son, and then we have close families around the one who tried it. And when I was trying to introduce this orange saffron,
Mm-hmm.
my husband, like, he said no, it's like it's savory. I'm like, saffron is not savory. We had this very big debate going on, and then I it was a very the response was like, yeah, it's good, but it's not rose pistachio. Rose
Mm-hmm.
pistachio has been there since I started.
Uh-huh.
So, but then I shared it with my mentor. She is uh, born and brought up here. So,
Mm-hmm.
and she tried it, and she's like, "Oh, this is amazing! Like, I love it." I'm like, "Okay, there you go. I am my customer."
That's a great story, Uh, your husband wasn't too much in favor of that, and your mentor was like, love it, go for it. So
Correct.
yeah, yeah, you need that validation to move forward with confidence. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, yes.
Mm-hmm. So Janki, tell me what kept you going despite the challenges and uncertainty.
Um, I honestly speaking, love what I'm doing right now, and that's always keeps me up, like get out of bed in the morning and excited for the day. Just the contentment and that fulfillment of
Mm-hmm.
creating something and then sharing with people.
Mm-hmm.
But and then another part of that is the customers, that
Mm-hmm.
their response. I have this regulars who just come, and you see them approaching, and I start packing things like, okay, you want this, you want this, you want that, and they're like, oh, you know us, take our card, there you go. It's such a cool experience when this happens. You're
Uh-huh.
like, yes, this is what I'm working for.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to remind yourself that,
Mm-hmm.
oh wow, like on Saturday I'll meet these two girls who just come, and they're like, I want this, I want this, I want this, and I'm like, okay, take it. Okay, yeah. So it is definitely between feeling personally content
Mm-hmm.
and then seeing your customers, having them trying this new items, new flavors,
Mm-hmm.
and then coming back again and again. That's yeah, it's definitely keeps me going. I don't think I sleep more than 6 hours throughout the week
Mm-hmm.
between taking care of my son and his school and this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it keeps me awake. I mean, I'm not awake in a bad way, but yeah, I have to. I get up with that energy. That yeah,
Uh-huh.
I
Uh-huh.
have to do that.
Mm-hmm. So that's a very good thing, you said you love doing what you are doing. So that is the biggest part. I know many people who are doing work, but they don't feel happy or content at the end of the day. But
Yeah.
but I'm so glad you finally you have been able to find what gives you happiness, and I think that gives you a lot of energy to move forward and keep
Yes.
doing what you love.
Definitely.
Hmm.
Definitely.
So let's talk about culture, creativity, and
Mm.
one thing I love about Orange Elaichi is how it celebrates culture and storytelling. So, how has your cultural background influenced the desserts you create?
It's yeah, it's a very and when you think about it, you realize that it's a very typical thing, but when you emphasize on it, then I realized that I was surrounded by, as a community in India, right? When you live in this housing
Mm-hmm.
society, that is what
Mm-hmm.
we call it.
Yeah.
And then there are people from all different. We had neighbors from Maharashtra, we had neighbors from southern India, and
Mm-hmm.
then there's always this barter system going
Yeah.
on, right? So you share your what you
Exactly.
menu, and so that time it used to be feel very normal,
Mm-hmm.
natural. Yeah, it's a day to day. But
Mm-hmm.
then coming here, and then when you are actually focusing on this, Yeah, I know these flavors because of all these people around me,
Mm-hmm.
and this is how I grew up with. And
Mm-hmm.
so, and it also helps me come up with those combinations. That
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was not part of the Gujarati cuisine, but it
Mm-hmm.
was part of this cuisine
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's definitely the background of me growing up in this community and already experiencing those flavors and combinations. And then there is a part where it's like food is like a basic way of celebration.
Yeah.
Anything, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's a birthday, it's a wedding, or it's just simple as you having afternoon chai.
Yeah.
There's a element of this food and that
Mm-hmm.
satisfaction which you get
Mm-hmm.
having it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the inspiration that comes with, like, if orange lychee ends up being that for people,
Mm-hmm.
that's like, yes, I am on to crack.
Yeah, totally agree with you. For many Indians, I know drinking tea and having a snack, that gives you a lot of peace, towards the end of the day. Like, I did something and now I am having my reward.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, yes.
Okay. Uh, Janki, let's talk about success. Like, how do you personally define success, and has that definition changed over time?
It has been evolving since I started, but
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, it is definitely for me, as I mentioned before, that having that fulfillment of creating something and being proud of what I'm building here,
Mm-hmm.
that has definitely been the criteria for success. As has been something has been always pushing me and have been driving me to do better and have how to expand this business in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
But also, as a orange lychee, overall for me, success will be, if orange lychee becomes this go-to place for people to uh, go, like, go is a like orange lychee is a place where they want to be. They think of it for celebrations or their, like, some gathering, or as simple as that weekend treat. They want to have something, and
Mm-hmm.
if that's orange energy for them, then that's will be. I'm working towards that success goal, but it's getting there. But I feel that that's defined success as a
Mm-hmm.
orange energy brand.
Mm-hmm. So you want it to be part of people's celebration, that's what, and a go-to place where people can go and get it and celebrate their birthdays and reward themselves after long day of work.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I try to make the dessert also more, all the baked items more lighter and not that like intimidating, well, because we have seen those desserts where you feel that, oh, it looks so exquisite and you are like, should I have this or
Mm-hmm.
not?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing. So I want to make that approachable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you mentioned earlier that as one of your mentor or somebody suggested you, look up the market, what people really want. Don't
Yes,
make them the old style, make them a good style, what people are really looking for, and
right.
bake it that way so that you can cater to, the real need.
Yes, yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's great. That's great. Uh, so before we wrap up, I would love to get your advice. Uh, what advice would you give to someone who's thinking about starting a business or changing careers?
Yeah. I will tell them that don't wait for the perfect time or the perfect situation. If you want to do something, do it. Start it when you are not ready. It's that kind of
Okay.
intention. Start it when you're not ready. Like, I'm not telling that, give your resignation tomorrow and then just start it, but start with something small.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, test it out. And the thing is, I also have learned, and I have told this to my husband so many times, that at the end of the day, I get physically so much tired, but I'm still motivated, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, it makes me believe, it's an affirmation that I'm not doing this as a hobby, but this is something I actually want to do it. And so that is what also, this will also starting something as a small and testing out and see what it intakes to start as a small and then scale it.
Mm-hmm.
And is it something you are genuinely interested,
Mm-hmm.
then it is something, will you be able to do it as a full time, like leaving your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, started. It's a, there is a risk always,
Yeah.
and but it doesn't need to be always that one path and you're done with it. The life has different paths.
Mm-hmm.
You explore. You didn't work out, you start again.
Mm-hmm.
uh but yeah, don't wait for that right moment will happen. I used to wait for it, like, oh, let me just earn a little bit more and then I'll do something different.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't it, there is no right
Mm-hmm.
moment to start.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You start before you're ready.
Mm-hmm. What a great advice coming from you. I really appreciate, especially this point. Don't wait for the time and situation because, you know, s- even I sometimes don't feel, it's time yet. I'm not ready. I need to prepare this. I need to prepare this. So that thing never goes away. There will be
Yes,
something or the other that is not ready.
yes,
And
yes, yeah.
hmm And you said you can start small and then scale it uh, with time and how things are going. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is, I mean, there is a reality of life is that money matters. Like
Yeah.
it, at the end of the day, you have to survive. You have to
Yes.
have this certain the basic needs, and you need to earn money for that.
Mm-hmm.
But also, there is a balance of, like, if you are working 8 hours to earn that, but it's not something you really want, then
Mm-hmm.
it is costing you in some other way. And
Mm-hmm.
if you're fine with it, like, I'm not here to judge anyone
Mm-hmm.
here. But
Mm-hmm.
if you want to do something, you want to give it a try, it's just do it, and trust yourself that you will be able to bounce back
Mm-hmm.
to what you used to do before. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow, what a great advice, Janki. So, this will be the closing question for us, and
Okay.
it might be a little tricky for you. So, if you could go back and talk to your younger self, what what advice would you give her?
Oh, wow. Yeah. I will tell what I tell my nieces. They are 16 and
Mm-hmm.
13,
Mm-hmm.
that you don't need to have things figured out
Mm-hmm.
by 22. Yes, we have to have certain decisions to be made.
Mm-hmm.
But I will tell my past younger self that your path don't, it need not to be same as everyone.
Mm-hmm.
You can do different, and it might take a while, but just keep going, or try, uh, have that faith that you will find something, and then you will have that fulfillment.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, if whenever you find, it's not late to start.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's great. That's a big thing that you don't have to figure out everything right now. You can figure out things slowly with time and
Yeah, yeah. And then there is a always, because I mean, but there are the certain life milestones which you will have to make a decision
mm-hmm.
during that time. But there's always this, like, oh, what if I'm wrong? What if it's not right for me and all that? But at the end of the day, it you will have to make that decision. So it's, yeah, you start on something, but you don't have to, at the, if it is not something you are fully confident once you're there and all, there is a path for other parts also. So you don't have to feel that I'm stuck here and then I don't cannot do anything else.
You can knock on the other door. If one door doesn't open, you can knock on the other door, and if that doesn't open, you can keep moving
Other doors.
and
Yeah, exactly.
find the one that fits your idea of perfect thing, and then you
Yeah,
can figure it out. Hmm.
correct. Yeah, yeah. That's yep. That's pretty much it. Yes.
That's great. That's great. Thank you so much for talking to us and sharing your journey, Janki.
Of course, yeah. This has been amazing. Like I like to share with my experience, and I'm hoping that this reaches to a lot many people
Hmm.
and they inspires them.
I love how you have turned your passion or your calling into a business that celebrates culture and brings people together through food. Your story is a beautiful reminder that passion can grow into something really, really meaningful.
Thank you.
And I'm sure many people listening today will get a lot of inspiration from your experiences and your advice.
Sure, yeah, and I will be. It will be a privilege. Yes, definitely. Yeah,
Thank you, Janki, and have a good day.
you too. Thank you.